much, you guys, and you are welcome back to my channel today. So in today's video we're going to do an Irish tune by Christy Moore. It's going to be JOXER Goes to Stuttgart. So it's a lovely tune, very difficult to learn it on your own. Back when I was first starting and I tried to do this tune, it took me a while just to get the strumming right. And then when you're looking up chords, it'll have one chord, but you might have to play it 3 times or 4 times. So it was very hard to calculate how much chords I had to play per line or per sentence, when to change chords over the right words. So what I've done is I've broken it down into an easy step-by-step tutorial that we can go through today, and hopefully it'll make it easier for you. I also have 3 variations on the strumming pattern that we can do just to change it up, because he does change the strumming pattern consistently throughout his performance. So he'll either do the easy one, the intermediate, or the advanced, which I will bring up as we go through the tutorial today. Now, there is one main section with a verse and chorus line type thing. So you have 4 lines for the verse, 4 lines then for the chorus section. Now the words do change, but the melody does stay the same the whole way through the song. And then at the very, very end, we have an outro with a different variation on the chords, just for the part where he starts just going mad on the outro. So let's get into it, guys. Okay, so there are a couple of chords we are going to need today. We need G, A, D, A7, D7, and E minor. Most of these are easy and are variations on chords that you probably know already. If you know all of those chords, skip ahead to where we get into the song. If not, I'll quickly go through them all now. So we have G first, which is the second box A string, third box big E and little e. That's your G. A is all in the second box, D, G, and B, which would be your 4, 3, and 2. Now, A7, all you do is remove that middle finger. So it's going to be in the second box, D and B string. So A has the finger on, all 3 fingers, and A7 just removes the middle finger, or the G string. Then we have D, which is the second box, G and little E string, and third box B string. And D7, what we do is we start in the first box, B string, and then go into the second box, G and little e. So it's kind of like a mirrored version of a D. So in D7, it's B, then G and little e. And in D, it's G, little e, and then B in box 3. Okay, there's your D and D7. E minor, then finally, is your second box, 5 and 4, which is your A and D strings. They are all the chords that we are going to need for today, guys. So let's get into the actual song now. Okay, so for this song, we are starting in a D chord. Now, there are 3 variations on the strumming pattern that you can mix through as you play. So the basic one is just down, down, up, up per chord. So down, down, up, down, down, up. So you're doing that for every single chord. So the top line goes D, D, G, G. So we do 2 for the D and 2 for the G. Okay, so that's the first one. Then the second one goes down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So same chords, just a slight variation on the strumming. So instead of just up, up, you're going up, down, up. So it goes down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. And then the third strumming pattern adds in an extra strum on the start. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that would sound like this. I usually save that for the very, very end, where he starts to belt out the strumming, and I just throw that in. So you can either stick with one strumming pattern, choose between the 3, or you can put in specific strumming patterns in different places where you prefer. Just remember to use only one per chord, so you can't use an easy strum pattern and a difficult strumming pattern on the same chord. One strum pattern per chord, then move on to the next chord. So we are going to D, D, G, G. So I'm just going to use the basic strum pattern for all of this song, and then you can change it using the different strum patterns for yourself. So D, D, G, G is that first line. Okay, and then we are into A, A7, A7. So if you put on all 3 fingers in A, then you can easily switch to A7 just by removing that middle finger. So 2 strumming patterns for A, 2 strumming patterns for A7. Easy change. So G, D, D, G, G, A, A7, A7. Then we have 3 A's in a row and D. So A, D. So 3 of the A's, and what you can do here is throw in one of the variations of the strum pattern. I'll throw it in on the third A and then go into D. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, D. So I threw in the second variation on the third A, and that's your A, D. Then finally we have D, 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 and E minor. So go into your D chord, 3 Ds and an E minor. And then it's A, and D. Easy as that. So guys, we are flying through this. Just remember to recap this. You can either screenshot it and have that notes beside you and just play it through. Pause the screen so you can just keep up and practice all the chords. But really, it's just about writing them out on a page, playing it over and over and over again until you find your rhythm that works. Just over and over again, just down, down, up, down, down, up, G, down, up, down, down, up, A, down, up, A, down, up. It's okay to go really slow when you are playing a new song. Just try not to stop in between the chord changes. So even if you have to slow down between the chords, so you start off fast, then you slow it down into that G. So it's okay to slow down. I call it granny style because you go very slow, but you're not allowed to stop at all. So do go as slow as you possibly can. And if you make a mistake, go even slower on the next one, because it is a habit that people do tend to go faster when they make a mistake because they want to catch up to where they made the mistake and fix it, but that just leads to more mistakes. Slow down when you make a mistake. It's your hand's way of saying you're going too fast, I can't handle this these chord changes and the strumming, so slow it back down and try it again, and then challenge yourself to go even slower and slower. See how slow you can play it, just going. But try to make it sound like a very slowed down version of the song. So again, you're not stopping between chord changes and you're continuously strumming the whole way through. If you can play the whole song several times with no mistakes, then when you do speed it up, your hands will remember what to do, so it'll sound like the actual song. So let's continue on with the next line. So we're into D, D, D7 and G. Now there's two ways of doing D into D7. You can either change from the original chord D into D7, or you can start in D7 and add your pinky finger onto B number 3. So start in D7, add your pinky to number 3. So that is D. Do 2 of those. Then to change in D7, just remove your pinky finger. And then G. Okay, so you can either go from the original chord, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Or you can start in D7 and just have your pinky on to make it sound like D, and then remove your pinky to make it sound like D7. Okay, so that's what I used to do when I was a beginner. I'd go into D7 first and then remove my pinky, so my chord changes were a little faster. It was one less thing I had to worry about. Just go straight into D7, add my pinky. Easy as that. And then it goes G, D, A, G. So we have G, D, A, G. And that's the end of the line. So that's the end of singing that last G. So this next line now, the G, D, G, A, is actually just the outro. So I switched to the third style of strumming pattern for this. So I do the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then just one strum on that last A to give you a pause before he goes into the next round. Okay, so that is the entire thing there. You just play through all of that. I think it's 3 times for the entire song. And then at the very, very, very end, we have an outro. So let's go and try this outro now. So this follows the same strumming pattern. I tend to use either the second or third for this because it is a little faster, and it's just where he does the okay, so it's just that little outro at the very, very, very end. So we're starting off, it goes D, E minor, A minor, or D, E minor, A, and D. So I'm gonna do the second strumming pattern for all these. So D, E minor, A, and D. So. That's the top line. Then the second line, D7, G, D, A. So D7, G, D, and then finally the third line. So the last line then is G, A, and a D to finish. Okay, so you can either play each of those once or twice. So you can drag this out if you like. You can do each chord 2 times at the very end, because the outro isn't too important. You can play it once if you want it really, really, really fast, or twice if you want to take your time on it and sing extra words. Just enjoy it, get the crowd joining in. So we have, say, D, E minor, A, and D. It will go. So it'll be. So you can add two of them in on the very, very end. Because there's no lyrics really to follow, you can just go mad on it. So once or twice per chord at the very, very end. But in the verse, it's very strict. It's 1 strumming pattern per chord. Now, I just want to go back to the verse for a second, so I'll bring it up here. At the end of each line, you can do that very, very last chord twice if you want. So if you want to take a break in between each sentence of the song, because that's what I have here. So each line here is a sentence that you're going to be singing. If you want to take a break before going into the next sentence, just do the very, very last chord twice. And that's an option you can do as a singer. So if you like to have a fast-paced song, go straight from one line to the next line to the next line with the vocals, then just play everything that you see on the page straight through. But if you want a break in between some of the vocals, like when he sings when the dogs were howling at the moon and everyone goes "oh" for the crack, then I do an extra chord on that line. So at the very, very end, I play that chord twice, and then I go into the next one. So it's just about taking breaks in the right places. Just play the strum pattern twice for that chord instead of once, and then you can continue into the next line. And that's the layout of the song. So it's that full thing once, and then again, and then again, and then it goes into the outro to finish. And on the outro, you can either do the strum pattern once or twice per chord. And I'll bring up finally just the 3 different variations on the strumming patterns here. So you can choose the beginner one, the intermediate one, or the advanced one that you can play and mess around with to suit the atmosphere that you want to create. So if you want a nice slow one, I'd stick with the basic one entirely, and then if you want to show off a little bit, start introducing the intermediate one in different places. And then if you want to really just go mad with it, at the end of each chord, just throw in that advanced one. So at the end of each line even, so D, D, G, and then just to build it up. And it creates a bit more speed because you're trying to cram more strums into the same timing as the original. So that's your options for the song. That is the full song layout, guys. Thanks for watching today. If you have any more requests, just throw them into me. If you liked it, like. If you're new, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you next time.